Hello and welcome to Points of the Crown. It is August 27th. A fine Wednesday. It's finally starting to feel like fall out there. And if you know me at all, I cannot stand being all hot and sweaty. So some nice cool weather is very welcome. Speaking of welcome, Dave, welcome as always. Good to see you, brother. I think it's just going to be me tonight. Me and you guys. So what's up, Frost Chaos? What's up, buddy? I got two screens going. I got StreamYard with YouTube and Facebook over here, and I got Instagram over there. Welcome everybody to the show. If you could hit that like button. Finally starting to feel like myself again. I still have a little bit of congestion going on, but we're getting through it. What's up, Mike? Is right up there, man. Right up there. I was trying to think the other day because everyone talks about like their midlife crisis, which I think I've gone through like 6 times now. So if over 40 is over the hill, does that make this fall or winter? I think it would have to make this fall for me. I think is the moral of the story. If I'm living to 80, we'll see what happens there. I'm pretty sure these conventions are going to kill me before that happens. Because I do a pretty good job staying clean and all that good stuff. But y'all are freaking guys aren't washing their hands again. It's an awful trend. Awful. It's a reckoning. It's not a crisis. It's a reckoning. I like that. I feel like I said this to someone once as a joke, but I feel like I'm kind of serious about it, though. It's that I don't procrastinate. I'm just prioritized differently. That's all. Just got a few different priorities than other folks have, and others are stacked way lower. So I've been bouncing back. I think it finally caught up to me today, though, because I've been trying to work even though I've been kind of sick, stuffed up and all that. And I got a lot done ever since coming back from Chicago. What was that, 2 weekends? 2 weekends ago? And been trying to work every day, trying to get stuff done, move the ball forward. And today, I had the worst migraine. I had one recently that was like a little baby one. It was a little tiny migraine. I was laying down for like 20 minutes. Today, though, it was the full deal. We're up and running though. It's all good. You know, I've got some friends that have been doing this for like 20 years now, and they are still going strong. They're still doing it. I think if I ever made it like super big, I wouldn't stop doing conventions. I'd just be doing it a little bit more bougie, get the tour bus, get the grill, park back behind the convention center during the day, all that good stuff. Well, guys, with fall on approach here, we have some topics to address. It's going to be spooky season here. Will be upon us. So we have some things to talk about there. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Netflix is putting up a new documentary this season for, what is it? Gein. So we'll talk a little bit about that. There's some low-hanging fruit in the news that I suppose you might want to hear my 2 cents. I doubt it, but I'll give it to you anyways. That's what you're here for, right? And yeah, it might be a shorter show tonight just because I feel like I just got woken up out of a coma. So I'm like trying to make it work. Speaking of work, Dave says he'll come work for me. Appreciate that, dude. I'll one day when I'm making big bags of money and I get a mobile table drawing board on a Segway, dude. There's been times where I'm like, how do I get a sketch pad near the steering wheel so I can do both? And try to explain that to the officer when I cause a 15-car pileup. Sir, I was drawing Batman. It really had to be done right now on the road. I'm going to be getting some work done this weekend, though, I believe. I will be at this weekend is Nightmare Weekend Cleveland. And last time I did a Nightmare Weekend, It was in Chicago. Uh, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. So we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully, they got the word out a little bit more. So I'm not just hanging out drawing all weekend. But he just pay him off with yep. The bad. I like it. I'll tell you what though, man. I have when I'm touring around, sometimes I've got like a little sketch pad. It's about the size of like an index card. He'll take that into the bar and just make some doodles while I'm sitting there. And sometimes this is a way to score some free drinks and sometimes some free food. So check that out. All right. So first things first. Um, Speaking of like, fall season, spooky season, scary stuff. I saw this today, and I don't know if you guys have seen this, heard about this. This is scary. I'm already like losing faith in our infrastructure with like bridges and such. But this is the world's tallest bridge. Where is this? Somewhere in China, Southwest China. Look at turn off the music so we don't get copyright struck. This is terrifying. Can I make this full screen? There we go. Absolutely terrifying. You want to be those guys? That's your job to drive the trucks out onto the middle of this bridge. I'm sure some guys would be excited to be like, hey, let's go test it out. This is the thing we just built. Look at this. You have whole cloud systems moving in under it. And they're stuck with this color, too. Imagine repainting this. That would have been my job back in, this is the... By the way, don't hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. I kicked myself out. Let's see here. I gotta try to fix my life. So yeah, the tallest bridge, kind of I don't know. I've developed some weird phobias lately. How do I fix this? I can't. All right. Moving on. Falling apart. Falling apart. What's up, James? Let's catch up with the chat. You need to get some numbers with the little drawings. Might have. Might have. There we go. It took me that entire time to figure out how to do this. Yeah, I might have gotten a number or two doing that. I've gotten more free food, and that's the important thing. James, sorry to hear you're sick, dude. Yeah, and I've still got a little stuffiness going on. It'll be it'll be nice and clear just in time for Cleveland Nightmare Weekend. Yeah, so the sickness is going around. Anywho, glad you're all here. Glad you're all hanging out. The other big thing in the news, not that you need another opinion on this, but this is insane, man. This Raja dude, Raja Jackson. Is he Junior? RJ Junior? That'd be convenient. If you didn't get the whole story, there was a stunt that went on backstage, and this dude that's on top beating the sense out of this Viking on the ground. He's like an MMA fighter, I guess. MMA fighter, or the wrestler thought that the MMA dude was a wrestler, crushed a beer can on his head. It wasn't a real beer can. Turns out, big mistake. They planned this bit for the ring where MMA fighter Raja is going to get his revenge, and the dude just goes absolutely postal. There's some speculation at first that maybe this was all part of the bit, and that this Viking fellow, Psycho Stu, wasn't actually unconscious. It was all part of the bit. It was real, as it turns out. So no news as far as I've seen as far as arrest goes, but I would like to see a crossover. Maybe we can get like a Dog the Bounty Hunter on him. Make this like a whole spectacle. Whatever this wrestling federation is, it doesn't look that big as most are. So I feel like this is going to bring a lot of attention to him. There's going to be a lot of people that want to come out and see Psycho Stu's return to the ring. Should that happen, I guess we're lucky he's alive. But this dude in the back kind of sums up how I feel. If you want my opinion, just find this frame, freeze it, and you got this guy in the back. That's me, man. Like, what were we thinking? Did you guys see this when it came out? Have you seen the full video? I saw it on Twitter. It just came up as a apparently that's what they think I need to see. It was recommended to me by Twitter. And I wake up to seeing some dude getting punched out. Everybody's sick. Let's all jump on and change it. Yeah, we've got at least a couple days left, I think, where we can get the whole lineup going. So I don't know if you guys have any particular thoughts on this, but I feel like this Rajah dude's in some trouble. I think he's kissed his career goodbye at a minimum. But I don't know what to say about that. Bad security. Took him a minute too to pull this dude off. And it just got me thinking, like, the dude that jumped in looked like he was like a foot taller. Giant dude. Like big Viking. So pretty impressive. If that dude had gone down, I don't know what they would have done. Like, audience members, they're just sitting here like, look at these people. They just got their hands folded. One kid looks like he looked up from his phone. This is about how it goes, folks. This is about how it goes. Why wouldn't he be arrested? That's straight up what the WNBA has been going through season. Yeah, it could have been worse. They could have been throwing green dildos on the stage. There's a worse joke in there somewhere. I can't dig it up right now. Got to be hard to know what's real and what's fake in wrestling. Yeah, I guess they were supposed to do this bit where he would come up and do like a cheap shot and get a couple of hits in, but it was all supposed to be like fake. I guess more video and audio is coming out, and I'm pretty sure this dude's screwed. Yep, absolutely. The only thing more making its rounds in the news than this is, of course, the Cracker Barrel rebrand. I didn't know it was happening. I don't really care if it happens. It's just of all the things to get upset about. Apparently, Cracker Barrel is pulling back and saying they're going to find a new direction forward. So instead of toning it down to this very vanilla, very simple, no illustration on the logo, cleaning up the interior of the store, which that was my first thought, is the inside of a Cracker Barrel is the biggest odds and ends junk drawer of a store that there is. There's stuff all over the walls. Like, imagine having to be on the team that takes all that stuff out. Because, like, I've got buddies, even me, I've got decorations hanging up. And there's just things I naturally accumulate. Cracker Barrel literally has to bolt those into the wall so nobody steals them. So doing the rebrand already sounds like an absolute nightmare. I say they should go even further, just double down. So instead of like the basic sign with no, like, dude, leaning on the literal Cracker Barrel, its namesake, they should just get a white sign in Times New Roman that says Cracker Barrel. Super basic. Just put that up. Nothing inside the store. It's all white. It's like the Matrix. And then really give them something to cry about. Yeah, I don't know that anybody's actually upset about Cracker Barrel. It's like there's real stuff that we should be worried about, but most of it is stuff that we can't do anything about. So at least we can get mad at the poor people at Cracker Barrel that already, I don't know. You imagine working there. Like, I don't know. Your high point of the day is the breakfast rush. Meeting all your regulars that come in, getting them their syrups, getting them their peach teas. And over the course of about a week, your nice, steady, regular way of life. It's like someone just comes over and just starts shaking you. Like Homer Simpson choking Bart. Just and then they leave. And it's all back to normal, I guess. But oh, Cracker Barrel's not bad. I think First Watch is the winner though. You guys had First Watch? I think it's the I don't know, as far as like medium price breakfast go, premium price breakfast, I would put Denny's over a Cracker Barrel. Certain Denny's, not all Denny's. But First Watch, I think that's a superior. They have what they call, I think it's called a $1 million bacon. It's like $9. It's 4 pieces. Sorry, my landlord's texting me. I just want to make sure I wasn't getting evicted. But other news today. Yeah, Denny's did go up. Everything's gone up. Cracker Barrel is still about the same price as it's always been. Same with Bob Evans. But I don't know. Anymore, it's like I just get irritated like when I'm driving and I'm, driving for 12 hours and I don't have time to actually eat somewhere good and healthy or whatever. The only real option you have is fast food. And it's like $14-15 for a combo now. You go to Burger King, get the Bacon King, which is a superior burger, by the way. It's much larger, much more filling. It's actually flame broiled. So they took the same or arguably worse meat patty and actually applied fire to it. But it's like the quality you're getting at $15. Like the fries are always cold. Management's always very unhappy to see you. It's not great. When I was actually, James, last year driving out to Rochester to go see you guys at Flower City Comic Con, on the turnpike, that same meal was like $18.50. Like, good Lord. I know it's a turnpike and I know it's New York, but we're gonna have let's see, one last kind of fun one, and then we'll change things up a little bit. This was on my main feed of my browser when I fired up, which normally is reserved for like political news and major things in entertainment. This guy found an old picture that he made when he was 8. He illustrated it. He wrote a little message about how he saw himself. He says, when I'm 35, I'll be married to Courtney, and I'll be an actor or a singer or a brain surgeon. I'll have 35 kids, and each one will have a limo. I live in Beverly Hills. I drive a limo, Corvette, convertible, Lamborghini, Ferrari, and a Porsche, all mixed together. Courtney and I will buy the Bermudas and the rainforest. And every summer, I'll go to those places. Folks, I don't fault this man for being upset that he did not fulfill his 8-year-old self's dreams. I don't fault him one bit because this looks freaking cool. He's leaving out some details because here he says he's going to be a singer. Was it an actor, a singer, or a brain surgeon? One of the 3. And in the picture, he's got pythons the size of Texas. And on his arms, he's got some sweet tattoos. It's either a couple of mushrooms in the sunset, an anchor, or what else would that be? I don't know. The letter N, and what looks to be like a goddamn bazooka on his back. With a hairy chest, scar on the face, and a Randy Marsh style mustache. And there's this sweet card. He forgot to draw the card. He drew it back with a marker just to show that this is a permanent fixture in the dream. This car is going to happen. And it's full of what looks to be gravestones, maybe. Gravestones. Of all the people that he's killed with this bazooka. Which I think is phenomenal. So maybe, if you haven't taken a look in the mirror to think about What were my dreams when I was 8? Where did I want to head? What did I want to be? Maybe this is that time to sit down, piece of paper, some lined paper, look into the future with a vision of where do I see myself? Write out a little paragraph and just to seal it in, do a little illustration, a little self-portrait. I think you need to have that vision in your life. Because here he's saying he cries for this whole article, just cries and cries and cries. Look at all this. Look, I would have 1,000-yard stare and a scar on my face, battle wound from being a mercenary. Dude, you're gonna sit here and write this whole article when you could be taking steps to success. Can't be a mercenary like that overnight. Got to have attainable goals. Get out that piece of paper, write down the first 5 things you know you need to do, and let's start knocking them out. And if you do have, some young lads, young lasses running around the house, maybe get them some paper, have them sit down and write out where they see themselves when they're 35. They're going to take one look at you, who's probably also around 35, and be like, it's over. That's it. If you is what I will be at 35, done. Already having a midlife crisis. Already having it. Well, I wanted to talk tonight about there was an announcement that because it is spooky season, what better way to get ready for Halloween and pre-Thanksgiving than to I don't know, dive into the deep dark stories of your favorite serial killers. Let's go ahead and put on your footy pajamas, get some milk, and sit down and watch Netflix, regale you with some stories about anyone from Jeffrey Dahmer to Ed Gein. Shout care, entertainment. Do what you want. It's a little weird, that we dive into serial killers for entertainment. James says he will be 35 this year, or is 35 this year. Well, your kids get to take one look at you and be like, that's it. Calling it. I'm 4. This is what I have? Shit. I'm kidding, James. I'm kidding. Here's the thing, though. Like, I do some horror art myself. 2 weeks. It's not going to be at Flower City, is it? I don't even remember what Flower City is. I do some horror art, and every now and then I get asked about doing serial killers for the wall to add to the print collection. And I've seen some before. John Wayne Gacy, I think he was the clown one. He gets requested the most. Every now and then you'll get someone asking for like a Dahmer. And I don't know. I feel like that's a bit much to be hanging up artwork in your house. That's up to you. If you want to do that, it's totally fine. But to like have it available, it's like we've got Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Batman, John Wayne Gacy. We've got Sonic. We've got Genshin Impact. We've got Transformers. We've got Ted Bundy. I don't know. Feels a little off. Thematically, I think that's it. I don't think you have to go any further. It's not a big stretch to see at Comic Cons when you're walking around. That some of the collectible booths that'll have like Funko Pops, and then they might have some like baseball cards or like bats that are signed, stuff like that. Or you could have like an apron that Ed Gein was wearing when he was cutting up women, signed by the man himself. Seems a bit tasteless. Seems a bit out of place. I don't know. Dave, if you find a magic lamp and you get 3 wishes, just be careful. It always comes at a cost. What's Chrissy's birthday? And it will be at Flower City. Holy smokes. We're going to have to get all the vendors to clap and sing happy birthday to you. Let's see. I struggle with that too. Instantly, everyone assumes I'm only Marvel and don't look at the other stuff. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. I like reading all the ha's. Ha 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 ha. Um, Unacceptable on any level. Imagine that happening to your mom and some asshead is selling merchandise and probably off her death. Horror artist, what's up, Chris? Say it's still wrong. Yeah, I don't know that it's wrong. You know, like I'm not gonna have a problem if anyone else does it. Um, I personally have a hard time being like, so here's gonna be all their faces he cut off and is wearing on his belt. Seems a bit much. Thematically, we'll say. Thematically for Comic-Con seems a bit dark. And some of these people, their families, like it didn't happen that long ago. Like Dahmer, I think Dahmer was in what was it? He was in high school back in what, the 70s, I think, 80s, somewhere in there. Like I think I have family members that would have been in the same grade as that dude. So surely, like he has cousins and like, nephews or something. Or I don't know, the victims, like their families might be like, hey, let's get away from all this horrible stuff that happens around Halloween and go to the comic. Oh shit. You know, there's that son of a bitch on the wall next to Garfield. Yeah. That would be a bit traumatic. Nickel City in the summer. There you go. Real Life Psychos is a bit crazy. If you want to see some wild stuff, if you've ever watched Explore with Us, that YouTube channel is nuts for real life stuff. So yeah, definitely stay in the fiction realm for sure. I could draw imaginary stabby people. Drawing real life stabby people is not so good. That being said, I could not help myself while doing research for this. My mouse, I need to replace my mouse so bad. Ugh, I can't click and drag anything. The button doesn't work the best. I could not help myself in preparation than to ask I didn't mean to ask AI. I was asking Google at first, but I asked Google who the top 10 serial killers were. And then I thought that's kind of a funny thing to ask. Oh, I don't know what the top 10 serial killers might be. Let's see if I can share the screen here. This would be great. I don't think I can. Nope. All right. So I asked the equivalent of asking Siri who the top 10 serial killers were. And it said that's hard to figure out based on what criteria. If you go by body count, this is what it is. And I don't think I've ever seen a body count countdown. I really wish there was a way for me to share this with you. Let me just see if I can type it again. Recreate the search here. But I like that I gave the AI complex as well. How do you gauge best serial killer? Top 10 killers by body count. All right. So this is going to include confirmed versus unconfirmed. Not confirmed. So at number 10, we're at the top here. I'm going to try my best to reveal this. See if I can zoom in a little. Hey, there we go. At number 10, Samuel Little. FBI confirmed this American serial killer as the most prolific in U.S. history. He confessed to 93 murders, and his involvement in at least 60 has been confirmed. 150 people. Yeah, welcome, FBI. Pair this with my almost weekly segment that we were doing for a while called How to Get Away with It. Number 9. Young Zinhai, known as the Monster Killer, which is not a superhero, by the way. Not monster like he's killing monsters. Monster is like he's really good at this. Like he's prolific even. Not to confuse the two. Kind of like flammable and inflammable. He was China's most prolific known serial killer. He was known known serial. They're sure there's some unknown serial killers running around, but they haven't caught him yet. He was convicted of 67 murders between 99 and 2003, and he was executed in 2004. I don't know about these numbers, but these already don't seem to be going in the correct order. Moving along. Number 8. No one has asked me about Kampadamar Shankaria. Indian killer murdered at least 70 people with a hammer. Imagine being the company that makes that hammer. And your marketing guy comes in. You guys are having like a board meeting. Someone ordered Panera for lunch, and you're getting your little panini out, some broccoli cheddar. And this dude comes, he's like, guys, you won't believe this. We have a new way to advertise our hammer. You know how we've always been saying we need new advertising material? 70 people were killed with a hammer, and 78 and 79 before being hanged. His last words were, I have murdered in vain. Nobody should become like me. Stop hammer time was not his last words. Number 7, Pedro Rodriguez Filho, known as the Brazilian Dexter. Oh no, this means it came out after Dexter. Not Laboratory. Claimed to have killed over 100 victims. 100 of them. 100. Including his father and dozens of prison inmates. He was convicted of 71 murders and was released. What? All right. That's the plot twist I wasn't ready for. All right. So this is quickly becoming a episode of How to Get Away with It. He claimed to, so even if you don't have hard evidence, I'm pretty sure if you walk into a police office and say, hey, I've killed over 100 people, including my father. Like, I'll take you in and show him the hammer I did it with, and dozens of prison inmates. What do you do to get off the hook? I don't know when it claims to have done it, but he got released in 2018. This is where the documentary is. Ed Gein, whatever. It's been done to death. No pun intended. This is the real story. Pedro, we need to find you. Vote for Pedro. Oh, good. Well, Instagram failed. Whoops. All right. Dude, I couldn't watch that Dahmer Netflix deal. I couldn't make it past first episode, and I watched a lot of horror stuff. Just the fact it was real made it messed up to another level. Yeah. So all the girls that are on the dating apps these days, this is the stuff they live for. Like, I love watching true crime. Swipe left. See ya. Documentaries is one thing. Recreation is a totally another. Yeah, it's a bit much. Well, we're not even through the top 10 highest body count. See, we got Daniel Camargo Barbosa, Colombian rapist and murderer, confessed to killing 72 young girls and women. Some sources suggest his actual victim count is over 180. What are these other sources? Like, somebody was, I don't know. This is even a good one. Not that serial killers are good to joke about. I don't feel good about joking about a guy that kills young girls and women. Maybe I should have been making jokes. I don't know, this whole time, but here we are. Welcome. Mikhail Popkov, Russian serial rapist and killer, also known as the Werewolf. He confessed to 83 murders between 92 and 2010. In 2023, he was convicted of another 3. What? Was he in jail at all? He confessed to 83 murders between 92 and 2010. So, assumably, he was free up until 2010 or professional hiatus. In 2023, he was convicted of another three, bringing his total. Something happened there. I don't know, but in Russia, it's like, when would you find these people? If you're up in Siberia, you could probably go door to door like the mailman with a hammer and get away with a lot. Oh boy, I've been trying my best with names here, guys. Javed Iqbal, Pakistani serial killer who murdered 100 street children by strangling and dismembering them before dissolving their bodies in acid. He was arrested in 99 and died in custody before his execution. Can you imagine why when people come to me and they're like, "Oh, you do commissions? Oh, you take like requests? Um, could you draw Javed Iqbal?" Strangled 100. And there's not like a date range. I have a feeling this was like over 20 years or something. Arrested in 99. I don't know. So there was like this. No, this one makes sense. There's a suggested documentary that came up on my YouTube today. And it was there's a startup company that's installing AI cameras like everywhere. I think it's called Flock Security or something like that. And they're selling subscriptions to it to all the local police. And what it does is it uses AI to track your license plate to your vehicle to wherever on the GPS you're pinging throughout the city, so they can like completely document what's going on with you and what you're doing and all that good stuff. And I'm like, that's too far. And then you've got this guy who's strangling 100 kids in the street. I need a happy medium, is what I'm saying. There was a situation a few years ago here in Akron where a dude pulled up to a red light and pulled up next to a car, two ladies in it, and he fired into the car. I believe he killed the younger gal and injured the grandmother. And it turned out, from what I recall, a case of mistaken identity. And the only reason they caught him, you would think that the cameras up by the red light would catch it all. Apparently, they didn't have the budget to run the red light cameras, so they cut the funding once I guess the cameras were not working anymore. So the camera that was there that taxpayers paid for, that passed all kinds of legislation, didn't do the trick. But there was a company nearby that had like a parking lot camera that happened to catch like the tiniest little detail of the car. And it was enough to go catch the guy. I'm asking for a happy medium. Slightly more secure than that. If we're going to be throwing tax dollars at stuff, a little bit more secure than having, I don't know, this jackwad running around strangling kids. It's awful. Oh, spoiler. Might see number 2. Pedro Lopez, known as the Monster of the Andes. This killer was convicted of 110 murders of young girls. He claimed to have killed more than 300. I don't know what to say about that. Luis Garavito. You notice how the jokes are no longer happening at this point. Colombian rapist and torture killer confessed to killing 193 boys, known as La Bestia. His suspected victim count is over 300. And your number one top killer, Harold Shipman, British general practitioner known as Dr. Death, is confirmed to have murdered at least 218 patients between 75 and 98. He's convicted of 15 murders. An official inquiry estimated a much higher victim. I'm sure that after you've got 15 life sentences or death penalties, they're probably like, we don't need to keep doing this. You're in there for good forever. There's got to be, at what point, I know there's some unions that really look out for their, union workers, make sure that they're taken care of, they have their benefits and all that good stuff. But if you're in trust of, I don't know how many patients you see in a year, maybe a couple a day. If you see 100 patients a day over the course of 20 years, that's what? It's like Is that 2,000 or 20,000? My brain is not working right now. Let's say it's 20,000. Let's say you see 20,000 people and 218 people die. Is that an acceptable rate of failure? That's a pretty big failure. It's pretty big. If like if like 5 or 6 people were of your patients died not long after seeing you, or perhaps while they're in there under the knife with you. I feel like there's a board of people that look at that kind of thing. I don't know. So that one got away from them for a while. That took them 23 years, 33, I can't, like I said, cannot do math right now. 43 years, 23 years. The dyslexia right now is off the charts. All right. So all that to say is that, yeah, the reason this all is really coming up is Netflix is putting out, this is not sponsored by Netflix or Vimeo or Spotify or any of these other pictures on the screen. They're putting out a new documentary or docuseries. Yeah, it's coming. We're kind of bouncing around it, Mikkel. I'm I I typed into Google. I said, "What are the top 10 serial killers?" And that was probably not the right question to ask, because it did give me a subjective. It told me it was giving me a subjective answer as to what a best serial killer would be. I think the best serial killer is probably no serial killer. But the whole thing that's prompting this is because we are moving into what everyone likes to call a spooky season. This came up on my ad page today. So yeah, we're kind of talking about it. As far as doing any recreations, I feel like it's a weird move, you know. Documentary is one thing. I know the members of the Dahmer family, they had made a statement at one point when the Netflix is 22, I think 21 or 22. Netflix had announced that they were doing documentary on them on Dahmer. That family's like, yeah, we start getting lots of phone calls once we know that there's going to be a documentary coming out. The phone is just off the hook. People want interviews and everything else. No one really wanted pictures of Dahmer, but I get asked about Gacy, John Wayne Gacy. At first you're like, cool, John Wayne, and then you're like, oh, Gacy. Got me with a Gacy. Welcome back, Michael. We waited for you, buddy. We'll pick up now. So, Monster, I don't know. I don't care that people want to watch the stuff, want to see about it. I think it is interesting to see, the far end of the psychological spectrum, what it's capable of. But when you're doing it for like ad revenue, it's kind of weird. But that's how all this stuff gets made, anyways. So I don't know. Me personally, I have a hard time bringing myself to draw anyone real for the horror stuff per se. I don't know what else to say about that. It's a good thing I made this a topic of conversation. So what do you guys think? Serial killers. You gonna watch this? You watching this series when it comes out, or is this like a little too far? Do you get into the real crime? I went down a rabbit hole for a while, man. There was all these what do you call them? Like the influencers, not influencers, but VTubers. They were watching all of the police interrogation videos on like JCS criminal psychology. And it was interesting. Some of the crazier ones were people that were like legit criminally insane versus just like people who thought they were going to get away with it. So I don't know. But the more you watch them and the more it's like, I don't know. There's one in particular that it's a dark rabbit hole. Like, I don't even remember the guy's name and I'm not going to look it up. It was just, it's like the worst kind of horror story there is. It's a couple out in the middle of the woods somewhere that captures young girls and tortures them. And after reading the story and like how many people they were convicted of abusing like this and killing, I'm a firm believer that young ladies need to stay strapped Go get some handgun training. Is my probably not popular 2 cents, but these sick fucks are out there, and police just don't seem to be around. So I want to get strapped legally. Seek legal, consultational, and professional advice. I'm just your local idiot with a YouTube channel. Mikkel says, I get asked a lot, to draw real life serial killers. I personally do not and will not. I find true crime interesting. Profiting off of the glorification murder is dramatic pause. Not for me. Don't blame me, Mikkel. And then there's Michael. Nope. He says, nope, not doing it. Got to draw and do some things. Probably didn't have anything to do with the question I was just talking about, but that's what Michael says either way. Mikkel says, I will watch respectful documentaries, but stay away from sensationalized. Since I'm telling you, I cannot talk tonight. Can't read. I can't do math. Stay away from sensationalized bloggers and stuff like that. Maybe if we go to the extreme side of things and do like a Puppet Pals, like a Sesame Street serial killer show, I think that would be good. What's up, man? Sticking to cult leaders. Those are interesting though, man. Like what's out there in the ether about like I can't even remember the names. Not Ruby Ridge, but some of those other ones. It's like a lot of those people weren't really hurting anybody. Was it ideal? No. Okay, well, the one guy was a problem because I think he was like marrying a girl that was like 12, which is disgusting. That's a problem. But a lot of these people that are in said cults, they just want a place to belong. And sometimes where you belong is in a circle of blood from a goat. Sometimes that's where you belong, you know? And Mikkel agrees. Thanks for agreeing, Mikkel. She says amen. I'm sure that was meant for everything I just said. Don't look at the timestamps. Michael says, strapped or at least have some X23 claws. Absolutely. Just don't go running with them. That's dangerous. James agrees with Mikkel. Don't get asked, though. That's crazy. You don't have a ton of horror stuff, though, do you? I know you've got, like, Scooby with Scream, but I can't remember if you have, like, Jason and stuff. Jared Leto would be quite the killer. Steve McCullough, did either of y'all catch COVID at Chicago? Yeah. I don't know that it was COVID, but I'm still a little stuffy. It's my rap name. A little stuffy. Dave, appreciate you hanging out, brother, as always. Gotta go hide the bodies. Just kidding. We're on a serial killer theme. Just joking. Just joking. It's like, man, all this talking about killing. I know I'm forgetting something. Ben says, missed COVID, but it's probably because of the Funko wall. Everyone facing that was says the giant sneeze guard. Ugh. I gotta wonder, man. Like, I used to have for my display, I had these frames for all my prints because I was tired of people picking stuff up. And they were angled at such a way, it was almost like a sneeze guard. And I did have to Windex them on a somewhat regular basis. Pretty sure it's just, we're wet human people. We spit when we talk, but yeah. Yeah, I was a bit sick. Did not get the Rona. Got horror stuff, muted colors, dire circumstances, red dye 40. Oh, that is. I did do 1 year. I was doing some new horror prints. My Instagram's just shot. And the live stream hasn't been streaming ever since I accidentally hit the back button by Instagram. I was doing horror pinups, and it was mixing in like your favorite Halloween snacks. The one girl had a candy apple. You had s'mores. The candy apple sucker, which I arguably are the best Halloween candy for the longest time. But then I did one that I thought was the scariest of them all. Is the basic white girl wearing like the beanie, with yoga pants, holding a was it pumpkin spice latte? That's what she was holding. I thought it was scary. No one else thought she was scary. But anywho, so yeah, I don't know. It's kind of where I'm at with these guys, the serial killer guys. It would be interesting to see them dive into the ones with the highest body count, though. That's a bit unsettling. And this Ed Gein one, I did look into him a little bit. I looked into him a while ago and kind of forgot his story, so I was kind of brushing up on it. And pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting. Wikipedia is not a reliable source, they say. Like a lot of like schools and stuff won't let you use Wikipedia because anybody can get on here, change stuff up. It won't let me change anything. I was trying to put in there some like cool stuff he might have done, just to offset all the awful stuff. I'm sure he probably made some good pancakes. I don't know why I'm trying to make jokes around this stuff. I don't know. Welcome to my life. But yeah, it was pretty disgusting, and a lot of horror guys in like movies are roughly based on some of the stuff he did, like wearing people's skin thing. Look at this face. First you might be like, oh, is that one of those guys from what was that? Not Mel Gibson. The hell's his name? The Soggy Bottom Water Boys or whatever it's called. The Man of Constant Sorrow. Looks like he could be one of those guys. And no, he's out there skinning people. I don't know why I get asked for real killers. I don't have that much horror. Yeah, but you look like you've seen some shit, Mikkel. You got some dark, scratchy style. You got some dark, gritty stuff. That's I didn't do horror stuff for the longest time. And people kept coming up to me like, man, as dark as you do, man, you need to do like a Jason or a Freddy. As soon as I did one of them, it was like, kick that door open. I'm about done with the horror, though, man. It's, I don't know. I'm not done with it this weekend. I'll be at Nightmare Weekend Cleveland. Come down to booth number 415 and buy all kinds of horror prints. I mostly feel like I'm done with it because every time I do a horror show, I sell more Ninja Turtles than I do anything else. So there's that. So you're about the Fallout Fan Fest. Ooh. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Mikkel stuff, she has some really cool Fallout things. I would like to go to that Fallout like festival or whatever it is. What is that? Fallout outdoor. Was it like a convention? Is it a convention? I have no idea. This is probably not it. I don't know if I would go to this one. I'm not even going to show it. But yeah, there's like some of these outdoor conventions where it's Fallout themed and you got to like walk around and do missions and get bottle caps and stuff. Yeah, horror used to do really well for me and it has slowed down lately, which means it takes up like, I don't know, 30% of my wall. And I want to get rid of it. Just be careful if you guys to slap me some skin. Some nice, bumpy, dead skin. Steve, I wish you the best, especially with Dragon Con going on. Dragon Con. I don't even try to get into Dragon Con anymore. I can't remember if that one requires a there's one, I don't, maybe it's Gen Con. It requires a $25 deposit. So stupid. Oh, for the application, just for the application. Like you're not getting $25 back, which isn't a ton of money in the grand scheme of what we do. It's just obnoxious. And I know that they have like probably hundreds of people that apply and they know full well that the booths are sold out. I shouldn't say that. Allegedly, they might be sold out. Yeah, I should. The problem is doing anything fun just isn't on my radar. It's like work. And then mandatory fun, work. I should do a Hannibal Lecter TMNT where he's wearing a Zahn. That would be pretty good. I like that. Oh yeah, Matsuri. Yeah. So, we'll see what happens for next year. I actually spent quite a bit of time last night and this morning kind of shoring up some details for next year. Next year, there's going to be a lot of changes in the old schedule. There's a couple shows that have just been underperforming. and I've been just going back to them like an idiot, hoping that like, hey, maybe it was a fluke. Maybe this year's better. And then it's like roulette. It's either gonna hit or it's not. Either way, um, I need consistent success. And if I have a place that is giving me uh, consistent no success, then yeah, we're moving on to greener pastures. A greener pasture apparently in January is going to be an anime show in Charlotte. We'll see how green that pasture is. We'll see how that goes. It's the same weekend, and it kind of crushes me, and also it doesn't crush me. I have done the Philly Tattoo Festival, biggest one in the country, for years now. And the last 3 shows that I've done in Philly, not all tattoo shows, 2 of them were tattoo shows, but the last 3 that I've done out there have not been good. They've been like literally half what I used to do. And I know last year, at both of the shows, I had people that were there that said that they were down about 50% as well. So I got on, I can't show you, but I have one of these browser windows that has like probably 9 tabs that are open that are all just different con calendars, you name it. And I think I'm doing 3 anime shows next year. So we'll see. I scream, what is it? All the girls are like, ooh, that like they freaking love it. I'll be there selling all kinds of Ninja Turtles, and they'll be like, ooh, and it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. I'll fit in with that crowd really good. Let's see. I'm going to be at the Ren Fair. That would be good for you, I think. There you get a lot of people asking if you can laser engrave their sword, which that would actually be pretty cool. Do some laser engraving on the spot. Dave, I thought you left. Not that you're not welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Can't get caught. That was anywho. Oops, there we go. All right. Speaking of, I'd find another interesting article that just happened to be up. Speaking of the all the time job, I wish I had things that would get rid of all these giant ads. Yeah, there we go. Some Yahoo at MSN wrote this story about how 9-to-5 jobs aren't going away. At least not the way that we thought they were. Do any of you actually work 9-to-5 these days? I certainly don't. It's more of an all the time job. And that's what they're saying here is that in the private sector, most companies that are especially letting you work from home are not really a 9-to-5 thing anymore. It's kind of an all day pop-up meetings here and there, emails here and there. Seems to be a bit much. When I worked for Cintas for 20 years, it was pretty well known that if you stepped into a salaried position, that you were working probably 60 at a minimum hours a week, usually around 70, occasionally 80. If you were in uniform working, it was like guaranteed 80 hours salary, which is quite a bit. So there's one side of me that's like, okay, if I'm eating mac and cheese for dinner and I get an email that I got to respond to, a lot easier than what I used to do. Hell of a lot easier. But this is becoming a big thing. I know, like, I went on family vacation here recently, and there was a few people that had to make like work calls or handle emails or what have you. And people would be like, we're here to relax, damn it. But it's like it's kind of how things have gone. Mikhail agrees. Ha 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 ha. 9-to-5. Ha 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 ha. I'm telling you, I love reading the ha's. This is probably going to get old for somebody, but yeah, let's get caught up here. Did Collecticon, it was fantastic. One of 2 artists in the whole room, the other being Megan, so totally different audience. Yeah, I'm curious about those. I'm already pretty well booked up, especially for the weekends that they were doing them. I'm thinking I'm already booked. But my concern with those is that I don't know what the so one of the problems with the tattoo shows is one or two extra art print vendors can really kill a show. Like you can go from like Chicago tattoo and do pretty good, and there's like 10 other people doing prints. But if you go to one of the smaller tattoo shows like Milwaukee or Cincinnati, and you get more than a couple print vendors in there, it just destroys it. So I don't know about the Collecticons if they can hold up to that. I have a feeling once the word gets out and everybody starts doing them, I'm just concerned that it's gonna blow those out too. Ninja Turtles teamed up with Cammy from Street. This is the news we need. They teamed up with Cammy. Cammy was in trouble. She was stuck in the sewer. She got knocked down there when Blanca hit her with a electric bolt. She fell down. The turtles saved her from drowning in sewage, and they had to team up to fight the pizza demon. And all is good. 9 to 5. Man, I'm in the leather shop now, and I'll be there. Yep, that's how it goes. Ain't nobody else gonna pound that leather. That's probably not how I wanted it to sound, but 8 a.m. to 9:30. 9 to 5. Chris has his sweatshop going, but at least there's bourbon. Bourbon's good. I find that if I drink when I'm working, I fall apart. In fact, I'm coming up on June, July. I think I'm coming up on 3 months sober ish, 3-ish, and it sucks. I hate it. I'm drawing right now instead of gaming. Lol, lol, lol. You would kill it. Maybe I got lucky. Well, like I said, man, I think with some of these shows, it's like as soon as if there's 2 or 3 people selling prints right now, and then like 6 more come in, I just have a feeling it's bad news. Chicago Collecticon had a few, and it was killer last October. Yeah, damn right, but not while I'm cutting leather. I'm an accident-prone chaos goblin. That's not a good idea for me. Yeah, that bourbon kind of loosens you up while you're getting out those shears. Gets you all loosey-goosey. Start chopping stuff up. Yeah, I don't know. I know people that I've worked with people that are very strictly like, you have me for 40 hours and that's it. And when I was a manager at Cintas, I shouldn't say boss. It's not the term boss. Some people call me boss, but I wasn't a boss. As a manager at Cintas, I tried to respect like when people are hitting 40 hours because I get it. People have lives. I don't know what that is, but they have one. And I want them to be able to enjoy it. Meanwhile, I was at the office or out seeing a customer or whatever. And as much as that sucks sometimes, it made me the man I am today. And that's a broken down, bitter, angry, pissed off individual. So thank you for 20 years of service. Let's make your prints better looking. There you go. That's the challenge though. It's funny. There is a certain X factor that goes into doing these conventions and such. You can have amazing artwork and still get outsold by somebody that has the X factor. And that is an X factor that turns them into some mutant. I don't know where I'm going with this bit, but even if you have amazing setup and amazing art, you may not do as good as you think you might. It takes a special type of person to do what we do. I don't know what that says about us, but that's what it is. We are certainly special. I don't know. It's one of those things where I was talking to my brother about this recently. Like, even when I was at Cintas, I would only stay in a position for 2 to 3 years before either I got a promotion to like the next step up or a lateral thing, where I was in a different like division of the company where it's a completely different like function that I was doing. So while it all felt familiar, like I was constantly bouncing between jobs, responsibilities, expectations. Um, but the whole time, my mentality was I'm here to work. I'm here to try to make my life better, make the company better, make myself promotable. And that's going to take more hours. So I used to be the guy, especially I worked in a factory. When I worked in the factory, uh, whatever you want to call it, the shop, the warehouse, the facility, uh, I was like, I work 40 hours. That's it. Don't expect me to do anything else. I don't want to be here. Cut me a paycheck. I'll go fold the things that need folded or clean the things that need cleaned. Call it a day. And then it's actually 2008. Because I had quit the company right around the time for the recession in 2008, which was awful, awful time to try to do anything. I ended up going back to work for them as a driver. And at that point, I didn't have a college. Well, I still don't have a college degree, but I really had no marketable skill in an economy that wasn't hiring for anything. So I'm like, well, if this is as good as it gets for me right now, and the only way to make more money is to get overtime, I'm going to take as much overtime as I can get. So I was coming in on my off days all the time, helping out. And I don't know. There's part of me that doesn't get it when people are like, the boss wants me to work an extra few hours. It's like, are you getting paid? Yes. Okay, that's the best situation you could have. You get extra money to do stuff in the time that you weren't going to do anything anyways. I don't know. There's something like that. Something like that. But I get it. Like, if you want to come in, make your money and go home, see the kids, watch TV, play some games, there's something for everybody, I guess. Michael says, okay, better prints and have Cammy as a big. Yeah, there's a running Cammy theme. Turtle Saver. And in her gratitude, she comes to be the booth babe, which I think they started banning those a while ago. And I think they're coming back. Constantly looking over his shoulder at everybody. I like it. I like it. I don't know. There's some relevant point I was making there. But I feel like no matter what you want to do in life, unless you're one of those people that gets really lucky and it doesn't take that long to make you lots of money, maybe you're one of those investors or somebody inherited money, or like you got a really cool lawsuit, you're going to have to put in the time. Now, there was that one dude. I'm not even going to try to look for it. There's a documentary in the late 90s of this dude. It wasn't just this guy. It was about government waste in general. And this dude worked for a lab. He went to school to be some kind of like chemical analyst, engineer, something or other. Had some like major degrees under his belt. And the lab that he worked with, they would get government contracts to work on this project or that project. And they would just get these files sent to him. And it's like, okay, this is what you need to work on. And if there weren't any files, because after a while, this started to happen where files just quit showing up. Your job was just to wait till there was files to work on. Well, I guess for him, it had been something like 8 years or something where he was still getting paid a full paycheck, most of it government subsidized from what I recall, and wasn't doing anything. He showed up to work. He would check his computer, check his emails. Oh, no emails. Well, time to go to the gym. He come back home, make lunch, be there for when his kids came home from school, go back to the job, work on a novel he was working on for a couple hours, clock out, call it a day. Still requires you to show up, but for the vast majority of the day, you can do whatever you want. I don't know. That sounds like hell. Where was I going with all that? Oh, yeah, more articles people wrote. So yeah, apparently, people are struggling with this. They don't like the idea that they might have to answer an email after 6. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Do we need to adjust the expectations of work-life balance? looking back, like, especially when I was working in Youngstown, it was a really small crew, which meant that if someone called off, like, I not only had to do my job, I had to cover for them too. So we had daily routes that would go out, and I was working insane hours. I was waking up at like 4:30 in the morning so I could be out there by like 5:30 ish, get the shop open. And then I would get done with work around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and I have to drive 40 minutes home. Do it all again the next day. It's no wonder I developed a drinking problem. I should not be a victim. I should take ownership for my circumstance and my reactions. There you go. Oh boy. Well, there's some other news. While we're talking serial killers and terrible things, I want to talk about the story? Not really. There's a just very quickly. There's some religious leaders down in is it Florida? Florina? Carolinas. Durham, North Carolina. Mega church. Let's see if I can share this screen. I don't think you're gonna be able to see much. But the one thing they don't really go into is how they acquired the people. But apparently they were part of a $50 million human trafficking ring. Apparently, they had accumulated $50 million in wealth through this ministry. Look at this. You got FBI showing up. You got people looking at all these boxes. $50 million since 2014. Apparently, it was a call center. So, if you were, I'm assuming this is the situation that you're one of these folks that can't get out of your house anymore. You know, you're in assisted living or what have you. And you're watching the TV and you're watching, you know, whatever church this was. They would have people call out to members of the audience, member of the digital audience, and say, hey, glad you support us. Would you be able to donate? I'm assuming this is how it went. And they would collect this money. The problem is, you would think that these people working in these call centers were being, I don't know, paid appropriately. Apparently, they were paid with not being abused. So if you didn't get your work done on time, hit your quota, they would reduce your food down to peanut butter and jelly. I don't know. It really makes it sound like they were getting people from like a possibly like an old folks home or something like that. Like around here, we have some workshops for folks that you know, they can't necessarily hold down a job. So they go and they work there for a few hours a week and make some money. Perhaps they were getting people from there. But yeah, apparently this dude here put all these folks to work down in the church basement, banging the phones to make him money and fly over. This isn't for the church, I don't think. They flew over his property. They had 4 Mercedes Benzes, 3 Bentleys, a Rolls Royce, bulletproof material for their vehicles in case the good Lord gets you in a firefight, 5 ATVs, 4 jet skis, and a personal Crown Line boat. When we talk about cult leaders, friends, welcome to Points of the Crown. I am your leader. Probably shouldn't call myself leader. I am your host. Welcome, and blood sacrifice is required. I know if you do it or if you don't. I can see through the camera. You see me, I see you too, and I see you picking your nose. I can also see if you're going to put a ring of blood on the floor. If you could do that, it's real important that you make a smiley face in the middle. You can make whatever smiley face you want, just one that makes you smile. And 4, I have 2 cars. One is my Dodge Charger that I've had for 10 years now, which is hard to say out loud. Hard to believe I've had it that long. And my white Grand Caravan that hauls my stuff all over the country. I'm pretty sure any of these cars on their own is worth more than both of those vehicles combined. Oh, let's see. $8 a day, getting paid to draw I'm getting paid a guaranteed wage. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Just guaranteed money. So it wasn't them wanting to talk to you about your course. It could have been, man. Who knows? So that's the interesting thing. The company that bought, I worked for Cintas. Cintas had a shredding division. Shredding company got bought by a company called Shred It. It's a long story. They got sold to another company that got sold to another company. So lots of corporate sales going on. But one of the things that I believe it was Stericycle that had one of their assets as a company was they had a call center division, and you could hire them to do all kinds of call center stuff. So if you need them to call to like tell you that your medication is on recall, like if you're Tylenol or Johnson and Johnson or whatever, and you need someone to make all those phone calls, that's a company you can reach out to. So who knows? This guy may not have been asking for collections for the church. He could have been doing any number of things. He could have been calling about the extended warranty. Had some really good faith and apparently some good I don't know, room to park your cars up back, which is crazy because I think this is like, this looks like a church, but is this his house? I don't know. I didn't really read the article, okay? I just kind of read some highlights. Look at all this. He's got kinds of cars, Mercedes, Bentley, F-350, big old box truck. He's got all kinds of cars. But yeah, that's your modern day, look, a piece of shit cult leader. Awful, terrible. Oh yes, Exalted One. I have reached my quota for the month. Excellent. It's a little bit of column A and column B, but Exhausted One, Exalted One. I will take either. And oh god, the missus worked at a work from home job that was doing the call and order and medical things. Dude, it's a big thing, man. I didn't realize until we got kind of purchased by, I should say kind of, we got purchased by that company. But that was a big thing for them, was these call centers, because it's like, how do I say the things I want to say here without being mean? Some call centers get outsourced to countries where the folks don't really understand the language so good. They may not even have compatible systems with what we're using, right? Computer systems, programs, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of communication issues. And when you're dealing with customers, I won't say communication is key, but it's high on the fucking list. So one of the things that they had was, they had to hire and train these folks to be, not only speak not just English, but also coherently Spanish, French, all kinds of dialects and all that stuff. They had to have all those people on board and trained on the systems that would end plug in with it. This is a really interesting conversation. This is the kind of thing that you folks tune in for every Wednesday night. Don't even know why I'm going down this road. But that company got bought by another company. I had left them by then. So doesn't bother me at all. Anywho, this is the new plan, guys. I think, we might have to buy an old church to make this happen. Old churches do go on sale. But I like this idea of like, let's put the nice cars out back. So like up front, sure, we'll have a little church if people still want to go to church. That's fine. First Amendment, go express yourself. In the back, though, I don't think they need all this room for church. I think some of this could be living quarters, maybe theater room. And then in the back, if you join the cult today, we're going to have some wheels, some rims, and it'll be a good time. I don't know what this stuff is out back. It's a little sketchy. I don't like it. But let's see. I think I had like one more thing to talk about, and that's it. Or is that it? I need to come up with more stuff to talk about, guys. Yeah. I am, like I said, approaching 3 months. Very close to 3 months. Sobriety. And I don't really like it. I don't like it one bit. My sister was asking me, she's like, "So do you feel better? Do you feel a difference?" I said, "No, other than when I'm hungover. I'm not hungover ever now. Occasionally I would be." Uh, there was one night in particular where I did overdo it. I did overdo it. So I decided to take a break. Part of it was because I was hungover as hell, and I was trying to load into Houston tattoo convention, and just sweating out bourbon and ugh, ugh. It's like, you know what? We need to take a break. We need to make some changes for a bit. So I went about a month of absolutely no alcohol. I've been doing non-alcoholic beer, which is less than 0.5%. And some people would say that does not count. But if I have to drink like 300 of these to get a buzz, and I have to do that within about an hour and a half, that's not alcoholic. Um, that being said, where's it going with this? I think I do have I have the brain fog of a COVID, so maybe I did get a little more sick than I thought I did. I told myself, excuse me, that was juicy. After a month, I was like, it still irritates me when we go into social settings that I can't have something to drink, and then the only one that's imposing this is myself. And it's not like I did anything to like ruin a marriage or something, but I was like, yeah, pump the brakes. And I still feel like I'm irritated. I can't just go have a beer with a burger for dinner. It's like really good. It's like one of the things I look forward to. And well, I'll say it's nice being able to have like something that tastes like beer, but I don't get any foggier than I already am. That's a nice change of pace, I guess. But here's the thing that sucks. It's like 12 bucks for a 6-pack of these things, and they're not the greatest. It tastes like a very, very, very light beer. And for 12 bucks to walk that up to the Acme self-checkout and have to stand there like an idiot waiting for someone to come card me to see if I'm old enough to buy my non-alcoholic beer. Seems like there's something fundamentally broken there. I've been carded more buying non-alcoholic beer than I've ever been carded for regular beer. How when I was in Denver, that's one of the first places I discovered some like really cool non-alcoholic beers. And every single time the guy would apologize, like, "Sorry, man, I have to check your ID, man. I'm sorry. I know it's silly. It's like less than 0.5%." Some weird laws in this country. Dude, you sound beat. You good. I am beat. I am beat. I'm trying to like be enthusiastic, but I did have a migraine today. I don't know if you caught that part earlier. I had a small migraine the other week. Normally they go for about 40 minutes to an hour. It only lasted like 20 minutes. And I felt like that's not going to be it. Today was it. Today was the day. Yeah, maybe I'll start working out. Probably should. Definitely should. We'll see. It's that travel life, man. It's there's not much about what we do that's comfortable. So the moments that we have to be comfortable, we tend to lean that way. But all right. We did a show. I don't know anything else to talk about. We caught up on all the things in the world. I guess one thing that I can talk about real quick is just that the schedule for next year, there are so many holes in it. Like the general fan cons, like I had to like combine probably 3 or 4 different calendars of events together to make what's going to be my year for next year. And it's gonna be interesting. I think there's gonna be a lot of folks that wanted to get into this full time. They're gonna have a very difficult adjustment when there's nothing around to do show wise. Now, for a lot of folks, February and April are deserts. I managed to scrape some stuff together. I'm doing more anime shows this year, so we'll see how that goes. What else we got? Oh yeah, question of the week. We're gonna close on this. It's gonna be a shorter stream tonight. That's how it is. Yeah. So then I'll just tell you what I have lined up. Maybe there might be some of these you might want to look at because I know some of them I don't know, they were selling out of some of the booths. So February, I'm doing Big Lick, Houston Anime, Villain Arts Tattoo in Cleveland because that's right in my backyard. You might want to look into that one. And then April, Anime Boston, I might try. I've applied to South Carolina Comic Con. I might be doing Baltimore Villain Arts. So if I can get 2 out of 3 of those, I think we'll be in decent shape. So we'll see. Yeah, I kind of wanted to drop more myself. Kind of wanted to drop a couple more. Like July was completely empty. And I forget what I just added. I'm not pulling up my phone again because Denver moved to May, I think. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I just have a month off in the middle of the year. Like, I can't trust myself with that. Evan keeps me working. Not that I don't work when I don't have shows, but big thing is money coming in. So we talked about it a little bit. Next year I'm going to be launching a trading card game with a comic book. And currently I am paying a gal to ink it and I'm paying a gal to color it. So all I have to do is pencil it. And the card game, I'm paying a buddy to help kind of make it cohesive so it's real easy to understand the cards and how they play together. And all that costs me money. So there's a lot of money going out and money coming in. Yeah, there's money coming in, but it ain't coming in super fast. And when I just had to swipe the credit card for a whole bunch of shows my last couple of days, it's like, well, it's that roller coaster. So we've been having like a really good year. When I say we, it's me and my mouse that lives in my pocket. We've been having like a really good year numbers wise, but it feels like all that money is just getting dumped back into the machine for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I'm really putting a lot of cards into, and I really do think it's going to be good, this card game. So we're going to be launching Kickstarter for that next year, and then I'm taking it to Origins Game Fair. It'd be nice to see if I can get into Gen Con, but I know that one's super difficult to get into. So yeah, we'll see. If it's something that I can get some steam and get some attention and sell it, or who knows, maybe make a cartoon out of it. I think there's a lot of meat on the bone there. There's a lot of glorious meat. All right. Question of the week. We're going to go to Ask Reddit for this. What's a life hack? What is a life hack that is actually a life hack? What is something that, I don't know if you've ever seen these life hack videos. They're all garbage. They don't really work. It's always like some guy taking apart a lighter and a pen. He turns it into like a little mini flamethrower for some reason. Feel free to share yours in the chat. There is one hack that I don't know if it still works or not, but it worked for me when I was 18. And I'm kind of curious to see if I can do it again. I was at the mall, just walking through, and every now and then you get one of the sales reps that are like trying to pull you aside to fill out a card, like to get a credit card for their store. And there's this really cute girl once, was 18. She's like, "Hey, you help me out. I'm trying to get out today. I can't clock out until I get one more credit card offer signed. Mind signing this?" And I'm like, I don't want a credit card. She's like, well, when you get it, you don't actually have to use it on anything. There's no fee for it or anything. You can literally cut it up and throw it in the trash if you want. It's like, okay, well, maybe we could work this into some kind of like Steve gets her number sort of conversation, right? That didn't happen. Evidence of that would be the lack of a stunning jewelry store sales rep girl anywhere in my vicinity that, stuck around for 20 years. So the thing comes in the mail. I completely forgot that I had even put in the request, the application. So I cut it up and I threw it away. It's like, thank God, avoided that crisis, I don't need any credit cards ruined in my life. Well, flash forward to a few years later, I'm going to get my first car. First real purchase car where I'm going to have like a actual car payment, got to get insurance and all that. And my brother was there. He's kind enough to show up to co-sign for me, but they're like, yeah, we got to see what we can do. We got to look at both of your credit scores. And I'm thinking it's probably zero. I don't know where it starts, but I have no credit. She's like, actually, your credit's pretty good. You're I was in the 740 range. I'm like, how the hell did I do that? She said, let me take a look. Yeah, it says here that you had a credit card closed with a zero balance. You had it open for 3 years and it closed on a zero balance. And I'm like, that's amazing. Who's the credit card through? And she said, K Jewelers. I'm like, holy shit. It paid off for something. Didn't get the girl's number, but helped me get a better deal on my car loan. That's for sure. So I don't know if that still works. I feel like that would be the biggest loophole, to start getting every credit card you can, start cutting them up. The big problem, she said, was even though the score was good, there was no credit history. We want to see history. We want to see that you actually spent money and paid it back. I'm like, well, cash is king. Let's keep it on the table, right? So that was a pretty big life hack. Have you checked PAX East Unplugged? Another board. You know what? I looked into them a few years ago to be a vendor out there, and they shot me down. But that's actually not a bad idea. I should really think about this better for next year. Not a bad idea. Of course, and I'm already signed up for Lexington, so never mind. But like I said, I got a buddy of mine that's gonna be helping me out on that one, and the booth is gonna be, the way I envision it, completely different than what I normally do, because we got to have little areas where people can play test, sit down. If I'm being really lofty, I would love to do a 30-second animation and have it on a screen on loop behind me. I have no idea if I can pull that off or not. We'll see. But then he'll be helping me, and then hopefully we can get maybe one more person help with booth sales, getting people over to sit down, that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll see on that. The only other life hack I can think, this was a game changer for me. So a lot of people kind of struggle with drawing poses. I'll show you real quick. When it comes to hands holding stuff, let me get something that'll actually show up here. Got 1,000 different markers. See if this shows up. So a lot of people will start with they're drawing their little figure. Look at that guy. Maybe we should get rid of this. Stop sharing that. So if you want to have them draw a sword, you draw a little arm, you can draw the sword, you'll be good to go. Well, I learned this trick that if you want a perfect pose and perfect placement, you can still draw your stick body, how you want them standing. But instead of drawing from the shoulder out to the arm, they said, draw where you want the hands first. This is really awful, holding up a piece of paper. But if you draw where you want your hands first, so they're so he's holding the sword like that, real cool across his face. It's already placed where it needs to be. Then you draw 2 circles for elbows. All right, so you got 2 circles for elbows. And then this is really difficult doing it like this, but then you draw lines to connect the arms. And you can get a more perfect pose if you draw the hands first. So there's your art life hack for those of you trying to draw really cool poses. So other than that, anything else? Any questions, comments, snide remarks? Well, guys, I completely effed up the stream by clicking the back button earlier. So it jettisoned Facebook and Instagram. So those of you that still stay tuned in on YouTube, appreciate you hanging out. I will see some of you this weekend, Cleveland Nightmare Weekend. I don't even know who's going to be at this thing. Like vendor buddies or celebrities, I have no idea. Some of you I will see at Smoky Mountain Fan Fest or the likes thereof. Guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Peace.